It seems pretty much every day now I see an email or post on LinkedIn that invites me to compare my marketing plan, budget, or approach to best-in-class companies. I used to pay attention to these and even put some stock in them. In fact, I've built marketing plans in the past based in part by what these surveys say, but no longer. I've lost faith in most quantitative research studies that provide competitive benchmark. I think you should too. Here are my reasons. My top 4 reasons for having lost faith in most quantitative research studies for competitive benchmarking are these. Only companies whose primary business is research practice sophisticated enough models and intellectual rigor to produce credible data. I've been a part of research teams who try to interpret and manipulate data. I find most research methodologies to be specious. I don't believe it's wise to base your marketing plan on what your competitors do. Let's look at each of these in more detail. So before I go too far on this subject, I want to qualify a few things. I do believe in the value of competitive benchmarking research if it is based on credible data and professional research methodologies from an independent third party. I don't believe that you should blindly follow whatever competitors are doing, but I do think it's valuable to know what competitors in your industry are doing to go to market, win deals, and position effectively, if you can trust the data. But that's really the core of my issue here. So much of the so-called competitive benchmarking data that is being presented these days is based on specious and unreliable research methods. In part, this trend has come about because online research tools have made it very easy. Anyone can sign up for a SurveyMonkey account these days and begin asking questions within minutes. But will the data be reliable, useful, or insightful? I don't think so. Let me tell you why I say this. I have a background in psychology and statistical analyses. I believe in being very data-driven, as my clients will attest, but I believe in good data, sound data that is related to the topics and issues that will help me and my clients. This is relevance. There are organizations today who practice methodological rigor, who have core expertise in research techniques that produce accurate information. Many of those organizations have a core business model in research. They build their reputation around the value of the research they produce. They have people who are trained in how to develop studies that produce reliable and accurate data. But it seems to me that the majority of the so-called research studies I'm hearing about do not come from these organizations. The studies I'm seeing come from companies with a vested position in realizing certain outcomes. Here's what I mean. Do you remember that television commercial that said 9 out of 10 dentists surveyed prescribed this gum for their patients who chew gum? My question was always this: who picked the dentists to be in that survey? In other words, if a company wants to sell you a given product or service and their research findings indicate a strong need for that product or service, can you really trust that research? Wouldn't it be shocking if the research showed that you didn't need the products or services that they offer? Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? I've been a part of some pretty large research studies in the past that arise out of a few different industries. One of the big challenges that always occurs after the primary source data is collected is how to interpret the data. As Mark Twain said, there are lies, damn lies, and statistics. I've seen some significant mental gymnastics taking place when research data comes back that does not support the original hypotheses. I've watched as research outliers are discarded and the data is sliced and diced to make studies report findings that are, well, let's just say the findings do not arise out of an objective review of the data. This is what happens when research studies are conducted by organizations who have a vested interest in seeing the data arrive at certain conclusions. I'm not saying it always happens, but I am saying I have seen enough to know that it does happen. Here's something I do, and I encourage you to do this too, when I see a new study come out that sounds interesting. I'll access the study and then look for the research methodology that gave rise to the data. I want to know if the study was qualitative or quantitative. I want to know how research participants were chosen. I look for the N signifier, which usually tells you the number of people who participated in the study. If these data points are missing or if the methodology is not revealed, I question the validity of the study, and I think you should too. But none of this quite gets to the heart of the matter for me. Let's assume for just a moment that you have on your desk a very valid study based on credible research methods that tell you exactly how your competitors are going to market. What do you do with that data? I do not believe it's wise to craft marketing plans that mirror what your competitors are doing. Do you really only want to be as good as your competitors? There are usually also some key things left out of these surveys. Just because your competitors are using certain strategies and tactics, that doesn't mean they are successful. I know because we've built marketing plans hailed as the high water mark of success, yet I felt we missed the boat on several things. If you want to stand apart, carve out your own space, and really advance your company, it's good to know what competitors are doing, but you probably need to do other things too. You probably need to try other strategies and tactics. One of my major issues with these types of studies is that they seek to be normative. They seek to establish the average of what anyone is doing. I don't know about you, but I'm not looking to be average. I'm striving for excellence. If you want to build marketing and sales plans that deliver excellence, competitive advantage, and differentiation, I have a suggestion for you. This is what we're doing, and it works amazingly well for our clients too. Conduct qualitative research with your existing ideal clients and deeply understand what they want. Discover where they aggregate. Define how they like to be communicated with. If you can uncover these three attributes, you can really accelerate your success.